nossos sonhos e perdidos presos num papel, na esperança pueril. Ouça essa voz, deixe o seu coração sentir o amor chegar, enfim.
Well, Sambaranda started first as a multi-track idea for me to sing all the parts and do Brazilian music, especially at that time. So I started arranging and writing songs and everything. But I invited Nani, which is my wife. She's also a singer in the group, to sing some of the parts with me, and then we realized that we should start a group instead of just doing multi-track. So we began to post ads on Facebook and other social media to find people, find singers and everything, and it took some time, and we finally are together. We are like now seven parts. Oh, well, 6 parts harmony and 1 vocal drummer. So we started from a very small idea to like this group, and now we got a CD out and everything. So. Yes, it's our first CD. We have recorded some videos, record some of the arrangements, such as all the Christmas we did the Christmas song and Jingle Bells, and a couple other songs before we recorded the album. But yeah, in a CD format and an album is our first one. Play piano, I play a little bit of acoustic guitar, a little bit of bass, and I try my hands in all the instruments, but my main thinking instrument is piano. So the way I approach arranging it can vary from the starting idea of the song. So if I have an idea to do a homophonic arrangement, which means everyone singing the lyrics and and blending the together, I have a different approach. And if I have a soloist and people doing backing vocals and a bass line and everything, but usually I start with the small idea. If I have any idea that can make that song different, make it a new sound to the song. So it's my first concern, and then I write down the melodies, change if I want to change something, if I want to put it in a different style. Then I start working all the parts, like having the backings and the bass line and everything. So it's pretty much usually starts with a melody. Well, I'm very inspired by other groups. Yeah, the main inspiration for me is Take Six. So I learned a lot from transcribing and analyzing all the arrangements from Mark Keeble, Cedric Dent, Mervyn Warren, and also the Real Group and Singers Unlimited. They've been all a major influence in my choice of chords and styles and everything. And the stylistic approach that I have is to bring something new, like fuse all kinds of influence I have in my musical life. So I've listened to Take Six and pop music like Brian McKnight, and also Brazilian music, a lot of composers, as I chose the most of the big composers in our country. So yeah, the idea was to bring something new and add like our fingerprint to the sound, to this new idea. Yes, High Lows and Singers Unlimited both are from Gene Purling. He is like the mastermind behind all of this vocal jazz thing that's been developing over the years. Excuse me. Um, I first learned about the High Lows and Singers Unlimited because the arrangers from Take Six talked about Gene Purling a lot. So I figured I should go back and listen to what that guy did. So I went to excuse me. I went to listen to Singers Unlimited and to the High Lows, and from that I found Real Group and also a more pop groups like Impact. It's in America. I don't know if they're still going on, but I like one of their CDs. So there are a lot of influence from vocal groups in itself, and I'm influenced a lot from other types of music like Yellow Jackets, Bob McFerrin, and lots of group Chick Corea, piano player Herbie Hancock, and lots of great musicians. And lately, I've been listening a lot to the trumpet player Till Bronner from Germany. He has an awesome sound, and I really love it. Yes, I went to college, but I dropped out. But most of my knowledge is from thinking alone, and so like analyzing arrangements. No one taught me how to do that, so I had to figure out. I mean, the base is like the theory and sight singing and everything else. I learned in courses and everything, and also in college. But like the real vocal arranging, I had to figure out myself how to work and how to learn to do those things. Yes, yeah. I write everything down. I leave some things to so we can decide on the rehearsal. So I don't write much of the dynamics or where we do vibrato and everything else. So we decide that on the rehearsal. But everyone can read. Maybe not at the first time, but we can work with the music and be able to do that very quickly, very accurately. Yeah, this year we're finally starting to have like shows. So we have much of it is to be set in here in São Paulo, but we did only small venues at this time. Like there are many independent small venues in São Paulo that want independent artists to go there and perform and show the art. And but we have a wide preference to where we perform. We can perform in a small venue and a big venue. We don't have a limitation like that. So. Oh, that would be awesome to get together with the Yellow Jackets. Uh, well, we are very open to collaborations, and we would be very honored to have anybody who could perform with us, record with us, and have like something working together. Will be amazing for us. So yeah, we're definitely open. We don't have anything like set to happen right now, but it's always in the idea to do that. So we are working on this year to perform a lot in venues here in São Paulo, and I don't know, maybe go to the U.S. if we get an agent over there. So Who knows? We are very open to perform everywhere. Um, the main goal right now for us is to promote the album, do the shows for the album, and go from there. We released November last year, so it's very recent to us. So we have some projects of doing videos for all of the songs of the album, and the tutorials. We want to go get back to that because we did a couple of them in Portuguese. Maybe we do in English, so we'll be more open for the world. So yeah, we are working on those as well. It's funny you asked about that because we did all the up to now we did everything independently. So Nani was in charge of getting to know how to get copyrights, how do we book the studio, how do we set the time for everybody to get there, record and everything. We did all of that, and for the album I did the editing and mixing as well. So it's uh, it's all homemade, like for us, you know. So we've been dealing with that. So we have been doing with the promotions and marketing of our album and everything we do, like on social media, and we've been doing that independently. And now we have an agent, a booking agent, working with us for this year. So we are very excited because he knows a lot of venues, he knows people, he knows how to get us to perform, and we are very happy to have one thing less to work, so we can focus very strongly on everything else that we do. So, well, I have two suggestions. First, I would like to see more Brazilian groups. Like we have a lot of Brazilian groups since the 50s. So I would suggest Banda de Boca, which is a great group from Salvador, Bahia. They do great music. The arranger is one of my friends I met just a couple of weeks ago, and he's very inspired by Gene Purling as well. So they have a lot of vocal jazz things going on in the arrangements, and it'd be cool to have more Brazilian groups. So that's my first suggestion. The second is Mark Kibble from Take Six. As a fan, I would like to know how he thinks when he's arranging, when he's performing, and everything in between. So those are my suggestions. Well, we have like three types so far. We are gonna have a fourth one. We have one about vocal drummer, to how to do the sounds like the kick drums and snare and everything. We have one about how to imitate instruments like trumpet, saxophone, Yoda trumpet, trombone, and everything in between. And we did one in the ear training section, how to work the ear for to sing in a group. How do you build your ear to be able to sing in the group. And the fourth one would be vocal technique, like but it's supposed to be like small doses, not a very in-depth situation, because I think it's too much for short videos to have like two in-depth situations.